Anime titles have been growing bigger and longer every year, so I think it's time we finally address that question we've all been wondering. Does size matter? Well, 91% of women agree that bigger is better, but 91% of you aren't women. So let's figure this out once and for all by diving balls deep into some anime with the biggest and longest titles I've ever seen.
俺の脳内選択肢が学園ラブコメディを全力で邪魔している。
It's a bit shorter in English. My mental choices are completely interfering with my school romantic comedy. Now, I never judge a book by its cover, but I will judge this anime by its title. Not only is the title thick, long, and veiny, but it also provides a summary of the anime, and even discloses the two genres of the anime as well. So real quickly before I watch it, I'm giving this anime a 9.7 out of 10. It's a fucking masterpiece. Alright, so I just watched a couple episodes, and this kid is basically afflicted by a curse called absolute choice, which activates randomly throughout the day and forces him to choose between two options. You know, watch anime or go outside. Eat a bagel or eat a donut. Hit that like button or subscribe. Except in his case, both options suck, and one of them is always infinitely worse than the other. It'll be something like, Option 1, take your clothes off in front of the entire class. Option 2, invade Poland. So he doesn't really have a choice. I mean, the last guy who took option 2 ended up taking option 3 a couple years later. But there's a bunch of other fun scenarios, like when he finds a used hentai magazine on the ground, and he has to choose between sniffing it or eating it. So he's basically choosing between getting pegged in the ass or getting pegged in the ass twice. I guess the deeper message of this anime is that life is full of choices. Our lives and futures are shaped by the decisions we make in the present, except most of our options are complete dog shit, so our only true choice is to be eternally stuck on the receiving end of a strap-on. But while we're on the subject of choices, who do you guys prefer, Yui or Yukino? My teen romantic comedy is wrong as I expected is a very descriptive and lengthy title that will both catch and lose your attention before you finish reading it. But the problem with this title is that nobody actually uses it ever. Instead, they call this anime Oragairu or SNAFU for some reason. So despite having some of my favorite waifus and being one of the best rom-com anime of all time, this anime gets a 4 out of 10. Anyway, this main character only has one choice to make, and that choice started one of the most divisive waifu wars in anime history. Yui versus Yukino. And in case you guys are wondering which side I fought for, let me remind you that I have the best taste on the internet, so it should be pretty obvious. I shouldn't even have to remind you, but if you guys insist, I guess I'll tell you which waifu I chose. But watch this ad first. This video is sponsored by Zen Market. If you also have an unhealthy obsession with Japan even though you don't live there, then you're probably aware that sometimes Japan just refuses to ship things to other countries. I wanted to display this new Roxy figure upside down on my shelf, but I can't even buy it because it's only available in Japan. Luckily, Zen Market is the solution to this problem. Just search for the item you want to buy or paste the URL from any Japanese website to place your order, and Zen Market will literally go buy it for you in Japan and then ship it to you themselves. Sorry, Japan, you can't keep all these waifu figures to yourself, or this Marine cosplay outfit. There's a lot of them actually. This one even says Milky Time. As soon as you register an account, Zen Market will add 300 yen to your balance as a free gift, and until the end of this month, you can buy anything from Rakuten without having to pay a service fee, so you won't have to make 6 figures to have 6 figures. Click the link in this video's description right now to visit my landing page and check out some of my personal picks. Thank you again to Zen Market for sponsoring this video. Anyway, back to the video. I feel like I was just saying something important, but I don't remember what it was. Oh well. So why are anime titles getting longer and longer? Well, it's because our attention spans are getting shorter. I'm honestly surprised you're still watching this video despite the lack of Subway Surfer gameplay in the background. But because nobody has the attention span to read the description of an anime anymore, they just started putting the description as the title. The market for anime is so oversaturated that people tend to check out the cover art and read the title, and then move on if they aren't intrigued. For example, I recently found this anime called B. It's literally just called B. What's it about? I have no idea because I didn't watch it. But you know what I did watch? A herbivorous dragon of 5,000 years gets unfairly villainized. Now this anime's title does a great job explaining exactly what it's about. It's not that long either. I mean, it's above the international average, but it could be bigger. Like, instead of using the numbers 5,000, they could have wrote it out to say 5,000, which would have extended the diameter of the title by at least a few inches. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 though, because I like the use of the word herbivorous as opposed to vegan, which is 6 letters shorter. But basically this anime is about a vegan dragon. A little girl tries to sacrifice her flesh by feeding herself to this big evil dragon, but in reality the dragon isn't evil, nor does he consume any type of meat or animal products. I didn't even have to tell you that though, because the title basically summarizes everything that happens in this anime. In fact, you don't even have to watch it, just read the title again and you'll pretty much understand the entire plot. Was the anime itself any good though? Nope, it was trash. Yeah, I'm kinda just measuring titles today, guys. Wouldn't really recommend watching most of these. The longest anime title I've ever seen, though, is the Japanese title for the Misfit of Demon King Academy. And it gets even longer with Season 2, because instead of just adding a 2, they snuck an extra character in there by using Roman numerals. There's even a Part 2 of Season 2, which adds 5 more characters as well. This title just won't stop growing. It comes with a colon, a comma, a dash, Roman numerals, and a regular number right next to the Roman numerals. Absolute fucking madness. By far, this is the longest anime title of all time, but that isn't even half as long as the main character's dick. Anos Voldigold is literally a walking flex. Immediately after being born, he names himself in front of his parents, and then he brings home some bitches a week later. You know what his pickup line was? A castle. He lifted that shit with one finger, spun it around, and then threw it like a projectile weapon. One time, someone tried to start a fight with Anos, and do you know what Anos did? Anos fucking killed him, and then he revived him so he could kill him again, and then he revived him again and killed him 50 more times. Anyway, the first season was a lot of fun to watch, but season 2 was straight garbage. Regardless, I guess the title was long enough to strike the interest of millions of people, despite it being the author's first light novel. So do longer titles actually perform better than shorter ones? Is that how it works? If so, then I suppose I should change my username to I thought Echidna from ReZero would be pronounced Echidona, so I tried to make a donut pun, but the pun ended up being about cum instead. Regardless, it doesn't matter because I barely talk about Echidna anymore and mostly upload seasonal anime recommendations. I think having a long, ridiculous title might benefit some lesser-known light novel authors who want to stand out among thousands of competitors, but that really only applies to the light novel and anime industry. I really doubt that a long, ridiculous title would perform well in the West, but let's go ahead and test it just in case. I used to be a high school chemistry teacher, but then I got cancer and started selling meth. Some dude without a nose killed my parents, so now I have to defeat him with magic. That time I put on a ring and then a bunch of shit happened. So although longer titles might occasionally perform better in some very specific Japanese circumstances, generally the best way to gain popularity is just to write the best story you can. And my source for that information is Overlord. I guess the moral of this video is that anime titles come in all shapes and sizes. Sometimes they're big and long and thick and delicious, while others are tiny, sad, and pathetic. But the size of your title doesn't really mean anything. What truly matters is length times diameter plus weight over girth divided by the angle of the tip squared. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm uploading my spring 2023 tier list video next week, so if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so you don't miss that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to drop your size in the comment section below. Oh, and one more thing, I just remembered what I was talking about earlier. Yui and Yukino are both great waifus, but I actually voted third party. Iroha is best girl in SNAFU. Peace.